Does anybody really think they're going to indict Cuomo?
No, because he's going to be mayor. Exactly.
I was going to say I'm truly conflicted because if they did indict Cuomo, the runner-up in the New York City Democratic mayoral primary is this socialist named Zorhan Mamdani, this AOC wannabe. So that would be a huge disaster. It's crazy how I'm actually rooting for Cuomo in the New York City
genocidal maniac.
Why would you be rooting for Cuomo against the communists in New York?
Because I don't, wait, is that a serious question? Because I don't want the communists to, I'm an anti-communist.
Whoa, buddy, I'm not so sure about that there. We had that all fight about.
No, he changed his mind, remember?
You changed your mind about private.
He said Bezos shouldn't be taxed.
Or do you think that Eric Adams should have a shot?
He doesn't have a shot in the race.
I just think Cuomo should be in prison.
Yeah.
For this.
For killing all those people in those COVID nursing homes?
This is for sure. Nuremberg trials for Cuomo, for sure.
Were the sexual assault allegations kosher and not kosher?
They were kosher with all the women that heard about them.
Tara, at your time at ABC, I don't know, what's going on with Cuomo? Because I know a lot of the news networks had a really good relationship with him, especially during the pandemic. He was supposed to be like...
I wasn't at ABC during the pandemic. I left. I wasn't into the corporate media.
Oh, never mind.
I went to go do an Epstein podcast. So as much as you think I protect the corporate media, it wasn't my jam.
No, I think just one of them.
Oh, yeah. I respect reporters and journalists. Like, I actually, when I was a child, I really wanted to be a muckraker. I don't know if you know much about them, but they were Nellie Bly, these type of investigative journalists that could get their hands dirty and they could expose the powerful and hold them to account by getting real facts and information. So to me, accountability journalism is super important. And I side with people when they find information. Of course, it has to be accurate and it has to be correct. But I do believe at the core of journalism, it's to bring information to light that protects people.
I call that activism.
I don't call that activism because I don't.
Which people do you protect?
Because I go after both sides.
No. I didn't say politically. I said which people do you protect?
I don't protect people. In fact,
you just said to protect people.
No, to protect human beings, like in general, like from people who have power, from people with power.
And what do people with power do?
They abuse it.
Like who?
We talk about. I mean, at that time, it was the robber barons and the way they were treating people in the meatpacking industries. But now it's people in power. They look at what happened with the Biden administration. What was that?
Would you say people like Bezos and Bill Gates?
Yeah, everyone with power needs to be held into account.
No. What I'm saying, are you implying that they are abusing people? Because it's one thing to say you're in a position of authority and you're in a position of power, so you should be scrutinized. But it's another thing to be like, I think you're actually doing.
No, I would never accuse anybody of anything until I had actual information to be able to do that. And
what degree of power do you think warrants this kind of spotlight?
I think that if you are an elected official, for example, I think if you oversee, perhaps you're a major CEO of a company that sells products to people and maybe there's some sort of poison in the products, it's about it's really...
So what if there's a big corporation that has a customer base?
Yeah,
and they're
a mass customer base.
Mass deceiving their customer base in some way.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think it's about protecting the masses. I think it's populism driven. It's a populist form of journalism.
Let me ask you, there's a big company with a million customers.
Yeah.
And they have deceived all of their customers.
Yeah.
If you found there was an employee of that company who knew what was going on and was deceiving these people, that person is to be targeted as well, yes?
The employee would be a part of the story for sure. I think...
What if the employee is the one doing it?
Yeah, that's the story for sure.
It should be exposed.
Of course. If the employee was doing it, and if they were doing it independently, or were they being told by higher ups to do it, I think in general, this is just a populist form of journalism. I started my career at the New York Post. I've always believed that to me the best thing was when we got a dinkus that said Post got action, and that meant that whatever we reported resulted in some sort of change.
What degree of proof do you need? If there's, let's say that this employee then breaks off and starts his own company.
Yeah.
And is I'm going to do this thing. What degree of proof of intent, like mens rea, would you need to actually publish something that damages their business?
This is what I look at. I think, does this story matter? Does it have impact on human beings' lives? I think about the sources. I consider my sources. And also, I have a reputation. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I want to make sure that people, when they read my stuff, they're like, oh, yeah, that shit's legit. In the same way that when I saw that New York Times article, I saw the bylines, and I was like, oh, I've worked with those people before. They're legit, and others aren't. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you, of this company where the guy, he comes out, he's doing this, what do you think they should do? Like, let's say a news story breaks and says, this person, they left this big corporation, they're still doing this evil thing. When that story breaks, what should the individual who is accused of evil do?
Well, they should defend themselves if they think that they are defensible, or they should admit guilt if they did something wrong.
Well, who's going to think they're guilty? I mean, everyone thinks they're doing something justifiable.
I don't know. Some people have to admit guilt. I mean, it's some people they don't admit guilt, or they just say no comment, or they hide. It's not like sometimes you have something on tape and it's almost undeniable. I mean, I know these AI times it's hard.
What if they weren't intentionally deceiving the customers, but they were just wrong the whole time?
I mean, it's something that it'd be a nuance in the story.
Should they shut their company down and say, wow, I can't believe I did that?
I think that it depends on the story. Like, I think it really depends on, I think there are shades of gray in everything in life. Like, I know it's easy. We want to live in this world where there's an answer for everything, but there isn't an answer for everything. Sometimes you have to make calls. You have to make decisions based on what the evidence shows you.
What if the reporting destroys this person's life? They lose their job, they get canceled, all that stuff, and they never intentionally did something wrong. They just didn't realize what they were doing was wrong and hurting people.
I mean, how much power does this person have that they don't know what they're doing is wrong? And it's like, again, it's got to be a story.
1 million customers, they think that they're doing something good, but the product is actually bad, and the people are being lied to.
Well, they have to take accountability for what happened. So whether it's an apology and they say, I am so sorry that this happened. I didn't know that the chicken I was selling you had whatever chlorine. I know they use chlorine in chicken actually now, but whatever you want to use, some sort of product.
But should they quit? Should they shut down?
If it depends on the situation. If it wasn't like, it depends. I don't know.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.